This video is about the use of a Raspberry Pi to produce a MIDI patch. The reason I needed one was that I had for some time been using an AKAI EWI USB wind instrument, and my wife purchased for me a Yamaha VL70-m. The VL70-m only has a 5-pin MIDI input, and the EWI has a USB output. Somehow I needed to connect these two together. I realized there's a number of options, including things such as MIDI aux and many other alternatives. But each of these required the use of some form of computer or laptop, and each time that the instrument was to be used, the laptop had to be turned on and set up and be ready to be used. I started looking around to see what else was available. I initially tried the Arduino and even purchased a USB shield, but was unable to get it to work with the EWI. I then began to think about using the Raspberry Pi, and the rest of this video discusses how this was done and how it worked very successfully. For this project are quite simple. First, a Raspberry Pi, a USB to MIDI adapter. These are very low cost and very readily available through eBay and many other sources. I paid approximately 10 New Zealand dollars for this, which is about $8 US. A SD card with Bodhi Linux installed on it. If you go to the Bodhi Linux webpage, the instructions are given there. A powered USB hub, and the additional software required is Jack Audio Connection Kit and AJ Snapshot. Assuming you have a SD card with Bodhi Linux installed, that you have plugged that into your Raspberry Pi, that you have a power supply for your Raspberry Pi, plus some sort of monitor or TV, a keyboard, a mouse, and it is also connected to the internet. Once your Raspberry Pi is working correctly and you can see the Bodhi Linux screen, there are several things which need to be done. First of all, using the mouse, select Main, Applications, System Tools, Terminology. This will open a screen, and in that screen carefully type sudo space apt-get update. Press enter. This will take a little while to run. Once it is finished, then type in sudo apt-get install QJACKCTL. Once again, press enter. After a while, you'll be asked whether you want to continue. Press Y. And also further along, you'll get a blue screen with a question. Use the tab key to select yes, and once again press enter. Once that is finished, then type in carefully sudo apt-get aj-snapshot. Once again, press enter, and after a while you will be asked once again to confirm, and this time again press Y and enter. At this point, make sure you have a powered USB hub connected to the Raspberry Pi, and that you have connected any MIDI instruments to that hub. Then use the mouse and go to Main, Applications, Sound and Video, and open up Jack Audio Connection Kit. Then use the mouse pointer and click on Connect. At this point, the screen as illustrated should appear, and you need to make the connections for your MIDI instruments. In my case, I clicked on EWI USB, and it became highlighted. Then I clicked on USB to MIDI adapter, that was also highlighted, and then I simply clicked on connect, and the red line was drawn between the two to show that they were connected together. At this point you need to record the connection you have just made so that it can be re-established later. To do that, follow the instructions. Note that I have called mine EWI. You can change that name to anything you would like. At this point you need to produce a batch file which contains a small simple program which restores the connections that you just saved. Follow the instructions carefully, and for my case I have used the name MIDI.sh for the name of the file, but you can change that if you wish to. Note that in the batch file that there is a command saying sleep 20. This was originally done so that the other programs were up and running before it ran the script which set up the MIDI connections. It proved that this 20 was too long, and in future I would change this to 5. This shows two things. The first is how to make the program run using sudo change mode, and the second part allows you to run the program and to show that it is working correctly. Follow the instructions carefully. I wanted the Raspberry Pi to be able to run completely on its own without any monitor or keyboard connected to it, and to be able to run every time correctly. Within Bodhi Linux there is a utility, as illustrated on the screen, which allows you to set this up quite easily. This is one of the main reasons why I selected Bodhi Linux. Carefully follow the instructions and make sure that your screen looks the same as the ones in this presentation. This shows how the second part of the program to make the script that you wrote earlier run automatically. Follow the instructions carefully. The last two slides show how to make the program run automatically every time the power is connected to the Raspberry Pi. The end result is a very reliable small unit which comprises of just simply a small power supply for the Raspberry Pi, a powered USB hub, and the MIDI instruments connecting into the USB hub. I found this to be 100% reliable and very usable, very portable, and very efficient overall. I hope this has been of some interest and some use, and that others may be able to adapt it. Clearly, this is a simple use of the MIDI connection. There are many more complex connections that could be set up and work in exactly the same way. Thank you for watching and listening to my presentation.